I've got a really great long-term friend, Kim Priest, who runs marketing for Milton Keynes Centre. Now, Kim and I have been in each other's lives since we were 21. And we've never, ever been in each other's pockets. Ever. We met through a business relationship, but we've always been friends. And she's one of those people where if I was really in need of something, she would be one of the people I would call. Now, I don't see her every day. I don't spend huge amounts of time with her. When I do, we have just the best time ever. There's a connection with her. We were both pregnant at the same time, she with Jackson and me with Josh. Jackson and Josh were due on the same day.
No way.
Josh was born early, Jackson was born a day late. So we're both due on the 21st of November. Jackson was born on the 22nd and Josh was born on the 12th. And they have been together 3 times. Once when we first gave birth, then when they were about 2, before they went to preschool, and last Sunday.
Oh wow.
Both innately musical. So Kim's son was doing this wonderful charity event at the Boxmoor Playhouse for, I think that was a cancer charity piece, and his band played, and I said to Josh, let's go and see, I said, you've not seen Jackson since you were 2, so you won't remember him, but let's go and see them. And Josh met him there, but obviously the band was around, and so it was difficult for Jackson, and he was performing, so it was difficult for Jackson to really interact with Josh. Well, they came at 10 o'clock on Sunday and left at 1:30, and it was like prizing Jackson out, partly from Josh and our dog, to get him away. And it was one of those Sundays where in the afternoon I just sat there and thought, what a beautiful friendship I have with Kim, and what a wonderful friendship I could see those boys having, because their complete compatibility with music, like where they've got crossover with some parts but unique talent in others.
They've also got great catalysts in their mothers and their mother's friendship, so it's just like that brings it together, but it doesn't hold it together. So that connection, the musical connection, will hold it together.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, so years ago, so when Kim was pregnant, and she did know that she was having another boy, because she's got an older boy, Charlie, who's just moving into film actually.
Oh wow.
He did a history degree. But he's exceptional at research. He would be a phenomenal film researcher. You know, he really has the most innate, natural, intercommunicative ability. He's fabulous. Anyhow, her surname was Priest, and when she was pregnant with Jackson, she was saying to me, I like the name Jack, but it's like quite used at the moment. I said, why don't you call him Jackson? I said, because Jackson Priest sounds wicked. She went, oh my God, that's brilliant. She said, because funny enough, I was going to call him Max, but of course all my friends were going, you can't do that, it'll be Maxi Priest.
Maxi Priest.
So we were actually having a laugh about that on Sunday. And you know when like 4 hours go by just like that with somebody, and you're back to that trade thing again.
That's right.
So I'm thinking there they were, sort of trading ideas, trading interest. It was just a really beautiful.
I love that because that's authentic, that's genuine, that's not forced. You know, and as I say, your relationship with the 2 mothers is the catalyst. You know, and it's just, yeah, I love to hear about those really deep friendships. You don't have to be in each other's pockets. I have that with my friend Tina. I absolutely love her to bits. I said to her, oh, we've got a call this evening at 6:30. It's just for me to fill her in on that's happened, and she always has something to say. Just to kind of fill her in on stuff, and she'll do the same, and we don't see each other all the time. She lives in Dorset, you know, and but I know that when you feel like someone is there through thick and thin, that person will walk through walls for you, and you will do exactly the same for them. That's friendship. Doesn't stop me though for still clinging on to the things. But it's you're right. Thinking about it as we're talking now, that's a friendship that I will cherish forever. But I find that when people come into my life, they don't necessarily have to know me well. I think it stems from having 4 brothers and being the only girl, and not having that. Never really did that whole girlfriend, let's go on a girlies weekend, da, 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 da. And I did miss that. In a way, I still miss that. Because there's this whole vision of, you go with your girlfriends and you go away somewhere, girls' night. I never really had those things. So I think that's me trying to compensate for those sorts of things. And now I'm in a place where, frankly, my darling, I don't give a damn anymore. After turning 50, it's like, done. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? I think watching relationships unfurl, watching relationships come to an end, watching relationships start, it's a process.
You don't even know where it's going to start, how it's going to start. You don't go, the great friendships that I've had have started in the most weirdest way.
Well, look at us.
Absolutely. When I met Tina 20-something odd years ago, were the two, when people see us, they look at us like, look at her, and then look at me. It's like, you're the most unlikely pair that I would put together. She was operational, I was business development. Somehow we got put together. Okay, here are your accounts, here's your operational lead. That was it. And we worked together and we opened I was given accounts that either were locked out of at the time, we'd never had business from, and we grew that in a very short space of time to over 300 million from those clients. That Tina and I were like dynamite together.
And still are.
And still are, we argue a lot. I drive her crazy, but I just disagree with her just for the hell of it. But you know that.
But you also, as you did earlier, you even said to her, I was wrong.
Yeah, I hate that though.
Yeah,
I didn't do that. I didn't do that with an open
You didn't
heart.
say it lovely. You said,
no.
I've got to admit, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Don't say anything back to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need,
she
you
always
don't need
happens
to
to be right. And she gonna watch this?
Because she's less emotional in her decision making.
She
that's
is.
Why.
She very
so
much.
You will
I wear
you
my
will
heart.
Yeah.
I'm quite emotional. I'm quite like
Yeah.
And she's an emotional person, but she has this thing where
she's got her emotion, but she doesn't react or decision make from her emotion.
That's right.
She decision makes from her head, and this is my observation.
You're right.
And she doesn't have a big ego either.
No, she doesn't.
And when you've got somebody who has a low ego, their ability to move from the head is greater. It just is.
Absolutely. I just I'm a all heart person, and like I'm the noisemaker and just the like. But on the other hand, she has this crazy side, right? When you see her on the dance floor,
Yeah.
damn, music, and she's off. What I do love is the match of energy where you say to her, we've got to go to Congo. She goes, oh yeah? When? The question is not
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
She's like, when? Even before the what we doing, blah 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 blah. She might have the head might come back in and say, yes, but I think we should do Kenya before Congo. But it's not. What the hell are we doing? We just go.
Yeah, I think there's another misconception that people who are less overt, outward in personality are more negative. It's not true at all.
Oh God, no.
There's a mix. You can be outgoing and negative. You can be introvert and positive.
Tina says there's no such word as can't.
Yeah,
Doesn't exist.
there's a
in
brilliant
vocabulary.
company called Tech Pixies, run by a lady called Joy Foster. We should interview her. She's amazing, and she says get rid of the ants. Get rid of the ants. If you've got ants coming in, get rid of them. And I think that's just such a lovely way to say don't say can't. So none of the can'ts. Don't bring the ants in here.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice angle. But you can be very quiet and very calm and very positive, which is how I see Tina.
She.
Whereas
really
I know
is.
some really overt negative people who are constantly shouting out. They're dramatic in saying how woe is me and how desperate their life is, and oh my God, you never believe what happened today, and oh, have you seen the weather, and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, it's interesting how this sort of view of introvert extrovert comes with a package that actually isn't realistic.
But when people meet me, there's extrovert. They put me in that box.
But you are extrovert. But
Straight
you are
away.
extrovert and positive. But there are people who are extrovert and negative.
But it's also, I see, it depends on the situation as well. I
You're-
can be quite introverted.
No, you can't.
I can.
You can be quiet on occasion, and you move to deciding to be quiet when you're not in a place that you either want to be like or feel comfortable in. But that doesn't change the fact that you're an extrovert. You can't be both. So
I think you can.
I think that you are an absolute extrovert and choose to be quiet when it doesn't suit you, when it doesn't serve you.
Okay. I'll agree to disagree.
And I do exactly the same, so I think I'm a fair judge of that. So sometimes when I'm in a place where I'm quiet, people who would know me might say, what's wrong, is everything all right? And the answer would either be, I'm observing, I'm choosing to be quiet. It would either be, I'm not comfortable here,
And my husband
I'm
said,
choosing
what are you cooking?
to be quiet.
You're cooking something. And that's when I normally go.
Or it's because I've had a drink, because drink sends me to sleep.
Oh no.
So if I have a drink, I go completely quiet. So if I'm being
Drink is
rather
not good.
exuberant at anywhere, and Pat thinks I shouldn't be, he'll say, why don't you have a drink? Just to bring me down.
It doesn't. How much do you have to drink to get quite merry? It doesn't take me a lot to get merry.
It does the complete opposite.
Really?
Absolute
Oh, Karen, a
opposite.
glass and I'm already like.
No, you give me a glass and I go to sleep. You don't give me a glass, people say, I'll have a pint of whatever she's on, and they're disappointed when it's water. Or I'll have a couple of glasses and they go, what's wrong with Karen tonight?
I'm more
And it'll be because I've
titty.
had a glass of wine.
I'm more
or something.
titty when I've had a little bit.
Yeah, no.
And if there's music, that's even worse.
Music, no drink. I'd be the first on a bar or a table.
Music, drink, I will be
No
on
drink.
the table.
No drink.
No music, drink, I'll be
No,
on
I'm
the
saying
table.
no drink for me. So Pat needs a drink to get up on the dance floor.
Oh, I'll
I
be
just-
on the table.
I just don't.
There's I used to work for a company years ago called Children International. I remember we used to do these crazy parties. And anytime I see someone from, this was probably over 20 plus years ago, and whenever I see someone from that past life, as I call it, I was quite young then, and yeah, we would drink. I'd be literally on the table. I'd be thinking, oh God, please, I have an MBE now. Don't bring any of those stories up. That was before.
And I'd be no drink. I'd be
I'm
on the table. First on the dance floor. Absolutely going for it, yeah. Absolutely,
Lord. This is good.
Funny life.
Wow.
Here in Dick,
Here in this,
another session.
another session.